The brain is the center of wisdom, cerebral cortex and the cerebellum. If you dare to delve little deeper, check the medulla oblongata. Yes, in the field of neurology, we must understand how exactly the human brain does be functioning with the decisions I see people making. The mindset today to me looking strange. I mean the way the whole society change. The matter before we speaking so plain. Saying to me is like we don't use we brain. When we get legislation to deal with kites, but nothing for those serving in public like that decision. Staking out the nation. And if you ignore Chapman Lane, Bonnet's Baby Lane, and leave all the crime up to Corey Lane, that decision, is it crime prevention? Cause then we want to know how the youths get so choosing violence, saying them fully dance. That decision affects the next generation. Tell me, are the neurons inactive? Is there an issue with the synapses? Or is the country just going insane? Man, is like we don't use we brain. It's like we don't use we brain. It's like we don't use we brain. Won't use we brain. Don't use we brain. It's like we don't use we brain. It's like we don't use we brain. Let us consider the limbic system. It controls our moods and emotions. With all of the talk about SOEs, civil servants feeling anxiety. Now on to the corpus callosum. It facilitates communication. Yes, I know the PM talks to we, but we still need some more transparency. The optic fibers must be inflamed, cause we can't see we way out of debt again. The IMF target's barely in sight, but the money they lend is sight for sore eyes. When the foundation can come with a future plan, it has to include Edwin, Rick and Ram. That decision seems like favoritism. And they bring an old policeman back from his pension, and the new governor was chief advisor. Those decisions could be nepotism. And then somebody say it's time to rename November 30th to National Day. That decision was imagination. Are these thoughts caught up in a vortex? Maybe issues with the prefrontal cortex. Are we falling victim to these mind games? Because we want to use we brain. Because we want to use we brain. It's like we don't use we brain. Don't use we brain. Won't use we brain. It's like we don't use we brain. It's like we don't use we brain. In the hippocampus we would see part of the brain that deals with memory. When asked about the questions on gender, we came down with a case of amnesia. Let's touch the pituitary gland. It's the part that does help us understand. When I saw the salt tax recently, it lacked understanding completely. I think we need to do a CAT scan to see the true picture of this island. The axons must be misfiring when we think about the cost of living. When the trainees accusing Bajan policemen about serious things like the kidnapping, that decision needs clarification. And when the 11 plus 10 and government comments the creation of schools of excellence, that decision decision needs more consultation. And the media should never assume, but the headlines read gender neutral bathrooms. That decision cause total confusion. Is it a chemical imbalance or dementia causing this nonsense? Maybe an MRI could explain why we don't use we brain. It's like we don't use we brain. It's like we don't use we brain. Don't use we brain. Won't use we brain. It's like we don't use we brain. It's like we don't use we